England and the United States both have the iconic Nike tick on their uniforms. The US women's jersey is the #1 soccer jersey ever sold on Nike's website in one season. Nike is also backing socially aware athletes, and it sponsors US captain Megan Rapinoe, who campaigns for gender equality and social justice. Nike also made NFL player Colin Kaepernick the face of an ad campaign in 2018. He sparked controversy for kneeling during the US national anthem to protest police brutality. Both athletes have been criticized by US President Donald Trump. Now, this week, Nike is standing by Kaepernick after he criticized the company's new shoe design. Nike has since cancelled the shoe in question, which features an American flag that was designed by Betsy in the late 1700s. This is the shoe that's been pulled. Now, the Wall Street Journal indicates Kaepernick found the flag offensive because of its connection to time of slavery. Arizona's governor has since criticized Nike's decision to pull the shoe, saying he is pulling financial incentives for Nike to locate in his state. Now, the sneaker, meanwhile, is selling for upwards of $2,500 on a streetwear auction site. So I want to bring in Bruce Turkel, CEO of Turkel Brands. He joins me now from Miami, Florida. Great to have you on the show. Your first thoughts on this, when Nike has decided to pull this shoe because Kaepernick found it offensive. We know that old flags do evoke emotion. It's been in conversation in the United States for a while. Do you think that this was the right thing to do?
Well, Nike once before followed Kaepernick, and it turned out they were on the right side of history and they did what their customers wanted. So they were smart to listen to him. And they might have had a marketing malpractice, because what nobody is saying yet is that that symbol, although for many of us it is the revolutionary flag of the country, has also been co-opted by white supremacist groups. And they have now taken this image and corrupted it. No different than when the Nazis took the swastika, which was a good luck image for Native Americans, but also a German image of honor for thousands of years. But it no longer is. And so maybe this image no longer is. And Nike understands that their customers respond to that.
So what I'm not understanding is how this product could go through design, through production, without anybody saying, hey, we might be being tone deaf here. Maybe this is not a good idea.
Well, that's a great question, except every time I get invited on the air to talk about where a company made a mistake, we always say, how could they get this far? And I guess they get this far because people are human and people don't notice things. And, you know, the emperor has no clothes, and we know all those issues. So good for Nike, good for Kaepernick for standing up and saying, wait a second, this may not work out the way you think it's going to. We better look at this again.
What I don't understand is that it's being sold online for $2,500, despite the fact that it's been pulled off, Nike's, platform. Why do you think that we're seeing that coming through? It was meant to just be a few $100s.
Oh, because it's instant. It's an instant icon. It's instant rarity. Remember, it's not like Nike had this idea, showed some prototypes around, and then canceled it. They had already shipped product, and they recovered that product. But let's face it, we know they can't recover everything. Some people put some away, and now it's on eBay and selling for upwards of $2,000.
So Nike is interesting because it has shown in the past that it's willing to make political statements. Fashion and politics, do they mix?
Well, I think it's critical that we understand that speech you hate is not necessarily hate speech, and it's a fine line. Fashion and politics always mix. And the question is, when do you become more fashionable by being more provocative? When do you become more fashionable by pulling back? And in fact, the most important question, what does your customer and your potential customer care about? So whether you like it or I like it may or may not matter to Nike. Who is their demographic, and what do those folks care about?
So what's interesting is Arizona is also pushing back. As much as you've seen criticism coming through from Kaepernick, you've got Arizona saying, well, we're going to pull our financial relationship with Nike as well. So there's repercussions to this, I guess, on both sides of the spectrum. And it depends where you stand, whether you get offended by a flag that was clearly, used during a time of slavery, or whether you feel, well, get over it, this flag represents something else. And America is divided at this point in time. I mean, there's no question about that.
The last bit of research I did before the red light blinked on my camera, showed that Nike has already received $43 million in press coverage from this issue. So you know what? Arizona can do whatever it wants. The point is, Nike has shown time after time after time that these controversies, being on the right side of history, make them money. I mean, as we say in every business, money talks and BS walks. So when this whole kneeling thing happened, Nike stock was at $52. When Trump complained, it stayed there. When Kaepernick sued the NFL, it went up to $60. And today, the case is settled, and Nike stock is at $85. Yeah. So the governor of Arizona can make as much noise as they want.